How do you respond when your entire world just changed? I'm serious. Think about it for a moment. Weeks ago, you weren't even thinking about social distancing or practicing isolation. Now, how do we network? How do we grow our business? How do we stay connected? Furthermore, how can we be of service during this time? Join our host, Tony Grebmeier, and today's guests as they share their best practices and insights to help you navigate the waters ahead. Welcome to Networking Remote.
All right, welcome to Networking Remote 2020. It's a discussion of business, connections, and community. Today is episode number 10, and we're going to go deep today. We're going to dive deep on how to unlock the power of your life by creating your future with an amazing group of human beings. Grammy Award-winning bassist Victor Wooten of Béla and the Flecktones, Joseph McClendon, Doctor of Neuropsychology, and one of the most sought-after ultimate performance specialists in the industry. And coming back for his second appearance in the first 10 episodes, the one, the only, Darren Virassammy, founder of 34 Strong. And if you want to participate in today's show, all you need to do is go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. That is StreamYard.com/Facebook. Grant permission, come right back into the conversation, and we'll answer your questions and share your comments live. Now let's go meet our amazing guests today. Please welcome to the show the dynamic trio of Joseph McClendon, Victor Wooten, and Darren Virassammy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, welcome. First and foremost, thank you all for taking an hour of your time to give back to the world. I love when we can get insightful human beings together to just share and to give. But one of the things I noticed when Darren and I were talking offline was you guys do this on a daily basis. So I'm honored to have you here. And I think the first kind of question is, let's just get centered and just kind of figure out how are you all doing personally. Maybe something going on in your personal life, and then something going on in your professional life that you're excited about. And then we'll jump into some questions. Guests will interact with us, and I think it'll be a great hour show. So we'll give Darren the ropes. We'll let Darren go first. So he's either going to figure it out or drag us all down. So Darren, you're up.
Yeah, I'm doing well, Tony. Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm doing well. I'm actually in quarantine or shelter in place right now. At times it can be a little stir crazy. As you're aware, I have two little ones at home. I've got a 4-year-old, my son Preston, and a 7-year-old daughter. But it's actually been a time that's been solid for grounding and just really going deep. You know, spring, I always come back to this analogy. Spring comes as a result of the winter. And sometimes this is a great opportunity in times like this to really do some deep work on the roots. So I'm feeling strong in those places, even though at times of uncertainty, the ebb and the flow can be a little bit crazy. Some of the things I'm excited about on the professional side, really excited about just some of the ways that I've been able to get out onto different shows like this, being able to serve, getting out there, messaging, helping others, working through these times, and just providing some insights in how to lead strong in times of uncertainty. That's some of the work that we've been doing with 34 Strong, and really excited with the work that Joseph, Victor, and I have coming up here this summer with some stuff that we're doing together. So a lot of stuff to stay energized and stay focused, because we are what we focus on, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm excited to talk about that and share it with the world today. Victor, if you'd like to throw down, give us what you're up to personally, and then something exciting going on in your life professionally.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much, Tony. Hey, I'll also add the last time I was on this platform, StreamYard, my internet, for some reason, I kept freezing, and they kept telling me to reboot, whatever. So if I freeze for some reason, just let me know, and I'll hit that reboot button. But anyway, I'm sort of like Darren, you know, I'm making the most of it. Every situation, I believe, will respond to our thoughts about it, and every situation gives us an opportunity to be or become or to act. And for me, you know, I feel a little guilty saying it, because I know a lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are stressed. I have friends and relatives who literally are dying or have died. People are sick, and I know that it's real. This is not an illusion. These people are really going through this. But from my standpoint, I'm thriving. I believe every situation in life speaks to every person differently. And for me, life has given me what I've been asking for over 20 years, which is time at home with my kids. And I've been trying. I've got 4 kids. My oldest is 22. My youngest is 15. And so for at least 22 years, I keep saying, man, I'm coming off the road. I need to spend at least a year at home, you know, being a soccer dad, helping my wife cook, might even wash a dish or two. That's I know, Joseph. That's like you know, no, just kidding. I literally, that's why I'm late right now. I washed my dishes, but I'm taking this time. You know, playing music is what I do, but it's not who I am. Right? The public knows me as a musician, but I can put my guitars down, and when I put them down, what's left? And because, you know, the whole situation is telling us to be inside, like Darren, I'm really going inside to figure out, not really figure out because I already knew, but to whatever the word is, with that person that lives inside, the person who's left when I put down what I do. And that person is first a dad, a husband, a friend, you know. Musician comes out of that. But I'm just loving my family. Hopefully they're loving me back, my dog, and just getting a chance to do things that I've been putting off way too long, as well as reaching out and loving the people who don't have it as fortunate as us 4 sitting here, you know, and reaching out and being of service and seeing where I can help out. But it starts with replenishing what has been lost, literally right at home. And I mean figuratively the home, but also the home that's inside here, and replenishing that, because you can't give what you don't have. And so I'm refueling. And when we come back, man, I'm coming back much better than normal. I'm not coming back to normal is not an option. Coming back better. And so that's where I'm at right now, Tony.
No, I appreciate it. I think there's some powerful insight too, like with the idea of, you know, the musician, right, puts down his instrument. Yeah. And then he's something besides the instrument. He can use the mindset that he plays with all day and every day, but right. You know, father, husband, I love that. I can relate to all of it. I thought, hey, did you read my bio? Because I'm not a musician, but I'm all those other things.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of us define ourselves by what we do.
Yes.
And so many of us right now can't do what we do. So a lot of us are lost. I was literally talking to a woman the other day who says, I don't know who I am anymore. I said, well, here's your chance. Yeah. That's what this is all about. See my wheel spinning. Did I freeze?
It's all good. We'll get through it. We're gonna practice today. I think, you know what? It's so interesting. I don't know if you've gone on to buy anything recently. It doesn't matter what site. Everything's back ordered. You know, technical difficulties, everything, this and that. But I want to read what just came in on the hot wire. Jordan writes, it starts with this: put your desk in the corner. Every time you sit down there to write, remind yourself why it isn't in the middle of the room. Life isn't a support system for art. It is the other way around. Stephen King. Love that quote. And Victor's words made it.
Hold on. Don't pull it down yet. I gotta screenshot that.
Screenshot that and text that around.
Yeah.
Good one. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks so much for joining in, man. It's
now, Jordan is I gotta break in here. Jordan is a wonderful man.
He is.
You know, and the 3 of us here are running some camps online, and we usually do these camps at a place that I have in Tennessee. And Jordan literally drives down from, I think it's Toronto or Quebec, Canada, and he'll drive down either to attend the camp or just to help at a camp. So that's who I didn't realize who sent that, but that's Jordan. He's a good friend of ours from Canada. So I'm saying thank you to you, Jordan. He's been a great friend, a wonderful person. And I don't know if you, Darren, and Joseph noticed he was standing next to Chuck Rainey in that picture.
Yeah, I did. I saw that.
I did. Yeah.
Chuck Rainey, legendary bassist. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love it. Hey, we're going to have a great show. I got to tell where we're rolling to. So, Joseph, you are up. Something going on personally, something that you've noticed professionally.
Well, to coin a phrase of my dear friend Victor Wooten, a lot of stuff is is going on, and I concur with Victor. A lot of people are hurting right now, and I personally have lost 6 friends, 6 people that I know, and a lot of people sick, and a lot of people hurting and going through stuff. And in my line of work, for lack of a better term, I'm certainly not on the front lines like the healthcare workers are, and I am on the front lines of helping people cope with a lot that's going on. I do a lot of podcasts and a lot of interviews and Zoom calls every single day, and I see that side of it. I experience that side of it, and in addition to my own life has been, as all of us have, mine has been completely disrupted. I do a lot of live events. I do easily 25 to 26 live events, and my events are anywhere from 1 day to 10 days long every year, and all of them are gone. I've done one this year and it just is gone. And I get asked a lot, well, Joseph, your livelihood is completely gone. You know, how are you dealing with that stress? and again, this with the backdrop of like what Victor said, there are a lot of people hurting, and I feel for that. So this is certainly not to cast any light on that or any aspersions on that. I'm having the time of my life right now because I can't remember having been home this long in my whole life, as far back as I can remember. 20 years, 30 years, as far back as I can remember. And this has given me the opportunity to do these 3 things. Number 1, enjoy my family. I'm a single dad. And I was talking to you, Tony, earlier, that this is the opportunity to get closer with my son. And we've always been close, but nothing like we are right now. And the things that are coming out of him and the questions and the, you know, when they're little, you know, we're all parents and we all remember those times when they're little and they're like 2 or 3 years old and they're just learning to talk and they're asking those questions, you know, why is the sky blue and what's this? And they just, you know, and so that has come back in my son. And that level of connection has been great. The other thing is that has given me the opportunity to see the beauty and humanity in my fellow man and really focus on what is happening outside of me as I go around and I start to notice. One of the things that happens with crisis always is that people, they care more. If you look for it, they care more. People are coming out and people are doing things. When I go out shopping and I do things, people are just a lot more friendly, a lot more cordial, and a lot more interaction. And even though we're looking at people like this, you'll notice, here's what you see a lot. Their eyebrows come up, you know. And so enjoying watching and connecting with my fellow man. And then the third thing is it's allowing me to go and learn more about myself at this stage in my life. I have had the privilege, and there is a drawback to what all 4 of us do. I shouldn't say a drawback. It's a fine line that we have to walk, and that is we must practice what we preach. Otherwise, we're full of crap. Not to show up. And so I've been learning in myself how to do what I call ethically capitalize on this pause in our momentum. And so being able to serve, and because I've been saying lately, and that is, I say this to myself and to other people, when this is over, and it will be, history proves it, that mankind always marches on and always is victorious. And we've gone through things like this before. And so this too shall pass. And at the end of it, whether it's a year from now or 2 years, we're all going to look back and we're going to ask one of 2 questions. What did I do back there in 2020 that I'm so proud of, so that I was able to help other people, serve other people, help my family, help myself, so that I'm thriving now? Or what do I wish I would have done? And so I choose to, and I encourage everybody to explore that first question. And like I said, ethically capitalize on it now. Everybody, you know, Victor said something a few days ago that I love. Normal got us here. I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, Victor.
Please do, man.
It's been spectacular. Normal got us here, but it's not going to get us where we're going to go. And so the world is changing, we're changing, and I'm doing my best to not just stay ahead of that wave, but whatever I learn, do what we're doing right now. And I thank you so much, Tony, for allowing us and your trust to speak to your people, and Darren for setting this up and to do what we're doing. And I know Victor's going to talk more about it, the opportunity that we get to do and bring people to these camps. And I got to tell you, I'm going to jump in early on this and start this bad boy right now. Victor, obviously, as a musician, I respect you, I love you and everything, but I also got to tell you, I've been to 3 of your camps, and I'm in the industry of changing lives. And so I'm always looking to grow myself. And each one of those that I've gone to has not only made me a better musician, which is what I thought I went there for, but it made me a better man and a better person. So thank you so much for that.
My mom is smiling hearing that. I appreciate that, my brother. Thank you so much.
We need more good people, right, Vic?
That's it.
That's what she says. We don't need
Hey,
more
I
good
wanted to
musicians.
just kind of recap quickly a little bit of the stuff we talked about, and then let's just dive into it, because I think it's on the hearts of a lot of people. I know Courtney, who works with me, Doug, my business partner, man, like, I don't know what to do this summer. They just canceled all these camps. They just canceled all of these opportunities for us. There's nothing available for, like, what are we supposed to do with our kids this summer, right? Like, it's like I gotta work, I got a job, I gotta do this. But I wanted to kind of sum up what we've been talking about a little bit from Jim Rohn's quote, the set of the sail. Like, the same wind blows on us all.
Yes.
But it's kind of how we set our sail. And it's really, really powerful listening to all 3 of us, all 3 of you. We all come from just different upbringings and backgrounds, but the same wind blew us all here today. And it's how we set and see the opportunity that's among us. And I'm honored. I really am. I'm excited for this conversation. And, Victor, when Darren said, hey, I could bring 2 amazing guys if you let me on for a second time, I said, if that's what it's going to take for you to get on for show number 2, I'll figure it out. But what I really want to do is let Darren drive a little bit. I'm gonna sit back and let Darren drive a little bit. Darren, I know you do well at this thing called 34 Strong. You got a great business partner. Why don't you talk a little bit about what you guys were up to prior to kind of COVID and quarantine and isolation, and where you were headed maybe November, December, preparing for, and then we'll kind of figure out how we get there today, and then open that opportunity for a lot of people listening.
Yeah, that's a great question. So as a business, a lot of what we do is helping to create great places to work, creating empowerment, engagement, and cultures that can sustain for the long term, where people can be engaged in what they do in their work, how they show up. People can be valued for being valuable. And we really focus in on that. As both of you or all 3 of you know, a lot of that was delivered in person. Vic, you typically play music in person, right? Traveling around. Joseph, you travel around the world on stages alongside Tony Robbins, facilitating events. We do that with companies here all over the place. So I had a lot of time, and our team was really focused on building out that model, going that traditional model. Again, that normal model of traveling around, building our business, serving our clients. We had figured out towards the end of last year that going virtual was a direction that we wanted to go for our clients to be able to deliver. We had some that had started to go in that direction more and more towards the end of last year. And we had a retreat last year. It was in October of last year. Took our whole team down to Hawaii, actually, just because we had hit some big milestones. And we got deep into looking at our clients, how we could better serve, how we could create more impact. And we knew that was a direction we wanted to go. We put that out, though, for that to be something that we were going to do in maybe the 4th quarter of this year, right? And well, what happened? We were forced to have to pivot and adapt much, much quicker. We started off with our leadership team, myself, Brandon Miller, my business partner, and Aaron Harrison, our chief of staff. We started off the first weekend in January of 2020. We huddled up in a room for 2 days, and we ideated on what this could look like, built everything out of what it could be. And that was what we were going to build towards and trying to create some interaction with our clients. Well, what's happened is we were forced, based on what's happened in this environment, to say, hey, we have this stuff ready. How can we pivot that and adapt that? And it was a function of a big part. I think this is a really important part for listeners. When we went through the initial storm of this all hitting, we were rocked. We were rocked to our core, had no idea where this was going to take us, had no idea if the business like would pivot effectively. But one question that we came back to asking in that time was not what can we get, what can we give? What can we give? How can we find out what our clients need, what those that we serve, anybody that wasn't our client, but what do we have that's in our arsenal right now that we can give, that can serve, that can help others and make that connection? And it was a difficult question to keep asking, because there was times you're looking for, well, I got to keep my business surviving. I got to keep these things going. But continually asking that every day and focusing on the long term, being not necessarily 2 years, 3 years out, but can we stay standing next Friday by the end of the week? That was our metric that we were going through. Stay standing every Friday. And guess what? Every Friday that we stood, we built a little bit more strength and a little bit more strength, and that compounds, because you have to build upon those wins to be able to have more of them. Final thing I'll say is, amidst all of that, I too, Joseph, you mentioned you had 6 losses of close friends. I've had some deep losses very, very close to me. And we knew when this started that we'd all get rocked like that. So we've been really intentional in the cycle as well. Before leading with just business and the tactical and the pivots, take a pulse check on where everybody's at, because we don't know what storms of, hit each person individually and going through. And that has been a powerful way for us to connect and to stay connected. And finally, realizing that none of us have all of the answers on our team. So because of that, it's actually opened the floor for saying, bring your ideas in, and we've got to figure this out and be willing to adapt. And that way together we can have, together is better, right? There's that African proverb that I'll leave you with that is at the core of 34 Strong. And we always used to say this in the past, but we really say it now. It's simply this: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. There's nothing more than we need right now than others, and be able to give.
And during this time, you probably have seen in the news some of the startling numbers of isolation, marriages, a lot of addiction issues getting exploded in a lot of ways for a lot of people. But, one of the things Darren mentioned to me when we were kind of getting ready to kind of put this thing all together was, Victor, you've got this amazing camp, and you were just talking a little bit about it. The things coming in today are all, hey, wait. Is Victor going to be playing? I want to hear him play some music, You got some beautiful words. That's what I do want to tell you first and foremost.
I appreciate that. There's enough of me playing on YouTube.
Well, that was the thing, right? So I was like, I want to hear your words. I think your words go deep. And so I want to talk about what you had planned. I want to figure out how we can spread some light into that direction today, get a message out there to the world, and get people to participate. And I know Joseph, Darren, and you play a big role in this. So
absolutely.
So why don't you talk a little bit about what you had planned, and then how maybe you've made some adjustments, pivoted, shifted a little bit.
Sure. Well, we have been running music camps in a location in Tennessee since the year 2000. So this is our 21st year. And we've just decided that it won't be safe to try to bring people from around the world to this location together. But my wife and I didn't want to skip a year of running camps. We know that people, as well as ourselves, get a lot out of every camp. And we started in the year 2000 running just what we call a base/nature camp. Because long ago, I realized the importance of nature in everything we do. And you just posted a quote saying, someone said, Nancy Klein said something about thank you for these words or something. Nancy was one of my original nature teachers back in the early 90s.
Wow.
Amazing to see her name pop up. Back in the early 90s, and 91 to be exact. I'm sitting out in the middle of the woods learning about nature. And this man, Tom, there she is, Nancy Klein. Yeah. Thank you, Nancy. I'm listening to a man named Tom Brown Jr., a naturalist, and his teachers, Nancy and a bunch of other people, Richard. And my yeah, am I back?
You're back. You're back.
And my world was changed. My world of awareness was changed. I was hearing these people talk about nature, but to me, they were talking about music. And that was when I realized, wow, music and nature, really everything in nature is the same thing. That's where everything springs from, at least on the physical planet we call Earth. Everything comes out of nature, food, whatever. And and being natural is our goal at whatever we do. And to be natural just means we're being like nature, right? And so I started incorporating nature heavily into my musical practice and my musical delivery. And so I really started thinking, man, everyone should benefit from this. So basically that turned into a camp that's been going on 20 years. In 2008, when my wife and I bought some property to start running our own camps, we branched out into other types of camps, not just bass players. And that led into a camp, with this being the year 2020. We came up with an idea for a camp called 2020 Vision for the Future. Because in realizing that a lot of people just feel lost and don't know where to go. And the first person I thought about for this camp literally was Joseph, because Joseph had been to a few of our camps. And I mean, Joseph, it doesn't take but a few seconds to realize that this dude's got something. It might take you just a minute to figure out what it is, but not longer than a minute, you realize that this guy is for real. There's people that are magnetic, right? Like you're drawn to them from across the room to see what they're about. Now, that can be good or bad. Literally. I mean, people have that. There's people that can use that ability can be used however you choose. But quickly, Joseph blew us all away. My wife and I are talking about, who is this guy? He's big smile, talks straight at you, not elusive or what. I mean, right at you. And so when I started to find out what he does, I could already see who he was. But now what do you do? I find out, oh, he's a speaker. Well, that makes sense. Hey, will you do something for us? Let's just see what you do. Man, he blew the whole camp away. He just had us all on our feet. And, it was like, whoa. So anyway, I'm talking too much. When we,
never.
Stop.
Stop.
but literally, you're not lost. Keep going. Okay, so this is Varun. He's a guy from India who's been to our camps. We have a sign as you're driving into camp, because when you get to our location, guarantee you think you're lost. You're driving in the woods and it does not look like there's anything back there. And so anyway, we have a sign that says you are not lost. Keep going. And a lot of people use that kind of like as a life message or whatever. But anyway, with this 2020 Vision for the Future camp, my first thought was Joseph. Joseph has to be there, because as you see, I take notes, and I'm in this to learn too, because the more I learn, and I'm with Joe, I steal from people, man. But I steal from the best, because if I can take Joseph's words, Darren's words, your words, Tony, and spread them to more people, that's what we want, right? We want everybody to hear this. And as I see today, I have a lot of, for lack of a better phrase, a lot of my audience is here, which is great. My audience needs to know about Darren and 34 Strong. They need to know about Joseph. Tony, they need to know about you and every guest you have on here. And that's what this whole sharing thing is about. So I immediately thought of Joseph for this camp. And then I met Darren, or I should say I re-met Darren when he flew to a camp that we did that was just about tracking animals. Literally going outside, looking at the ground, listening to the birds and how to tell what the animals are doing. This dude flew from California to get out in the woods with me and track animals. So first of all, anybody who does that, I like. But we hit it off. And again, I usually at a camp try to treat everybody equally. But in my mind, I know who I'm attracted to. And I was attracted to Darren. My wife the same way. It's the same with Joseph. This dude has something. and you can not only see it, but you feel it from a distance. And, you know, give answers without stepping on someone, how they, you know, everything. And Darren just really had it together. So Darren was the second person I thought of. And I have to say this, I didn't even know what Darren did. Right? At the time, I don't even know if you mentioned 34 Strong. I didn't know what you did, but I
was just a crazy guy that flew across the country. And the last thing you told me when I was leaving camp was, you know, Joseph McClendon? You called me back into your office as I was grabbing my gear, and you looked, you were flying out to Berkeley that night, Vic, and you said, you know Joseph McClendon? I said, heck yeah, I know Joseph McClendon, man. He's changed my life. You remind me a lot of him.
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Victor, right here. See, Darren does that a lot. Like, he just flew into Colorado one day. He's like, hey, can I just come and say hi to you? So
Wow,
that's how he ended up on my wall. So
that's it. But, you know, I love people like that who aren't afraid to go out and make it happen and get it. They see someone they like, they'll go to them, learn from them, offer to them. But anyway, these were the first two guys I thought about for this camp, because, you know, I just knew that the camp would be bigger than what I could make it be. And I'm always looking for people that know more than me in certain areas. Because again, I'm here to learn. I'm here to share what I got. No secrets. I'll share whatever I got. But I want to learn too. And these two people are perfect. So we're doing a 3-day camp. I think the dates are, is it, I can't remember if it's 9 through 11. No, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
That will be July 10.
No, it's
what's the date?
hey, Darren, if you just post it in the comment, we'll put it across the screen.
What's the date?
June 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Okay, thank you.
Adorable.
I mean, that's what we had down.
Right, get right. I'm looking at an old calendar before we change the dates. But I'm telling you, you know, if people are liking even a little of what we're saying right now, June 5 through 7, the three of us and a couple other guests, we're going to come together and do an online camp from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to travel, no plane tickets. Our place has snakes and ticks out in the woods. You don't have no snakes, no ticks. The food may not be as good because we have an incredible chef, but you can register at Vic's Camps, and I can type it in for you, or I'll spell it, but it's VIXCAMPS.com. That's it. VIXCamps.com. Registration is open right now. We're holding these camps for a fraction of the cost than we've ever held them. And we're doing 3 camps. We're doing a music theory camp. That'll be 3 days. Then we're going to do the 2020 Vision for the Future camp, June 5 through 7. But then we're going to do our base camp that we've done for 20 years. We're going to do that. And every camp, I'm telling you, we have people like Joseph. You saw a picture of Chuck Rainey. We have Chuck. You know, we look for the best of the best so that we can offer people more than what they bargained for. But again, also, I'm a little selfish myself. I want to learn too. And so I look for people like Joseph, like Darren, like you, Tony. Hopefully you can even show up in there. People that are really dedicated to helping people. And you can tell when a person's real about it. When you can also tell when a person is putting themselves out there to gain for themselves, and they're putting themselves first. And I like these two guys, man. Joseph and Darren are my brothers, man. They're new brothers, but they feel like many lifetime brothers. And, you know, I'm so attracted to these guys, and I want them to rub off on me. And the people that I attract need to know you guys. So I'm glad some of them are here. Thank you, Tony, for having us on.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. I think it's amazing that you guys are all here today celebrating and kind of just sharing and loving on one another. I think it's great. If anybody's watching, you know, obviously Victor and Joseph, you brought in a lot of people from around the world too. Hit the share button, share this, and let's expand the network and the audience. And remember, June 5th, 6th, and 7th, VIXCamps.com. It's scrolling across the screen. If you're watching the live stream or on the replay, we'll make sure we put it on the podcast too. so people can have access to that. Let's go fill this thing up and wherever it. I love this comment that came in just a few seconds ago too. I thought it was pretty powerful. I hope you don't mind it, but it says, let me see if I can do it. It says snakes and ticks. Perfect. Rick Bob.
Rick's the steel pan player in my band, actually. So he's one of my brothers. I've been playing music with him for years. So what's up, Rick? That's an awesome comment.
I love it, Rick.
Yeah.
Hey, so why don't we do this, Joseph? Why don't you share a little bit about kind of the subject matter that you shared on at the camp, and maybe what you're planning for 2020 for the camp that's coming up? Maybe just dive in a little bit to that.
Yeah. And first off, one of the first things that Victor said when you come into the camp, when they give their disclaimers and their warnings, is they tell you that there's snakes and ticks.
You got to sign a whole waiver on that, Joseph, before you allow you to.
Really great. But yeah, I'll do better than that. And with your permission, I'll give everybody something, because my outcome always is to not just inspire people, and not get people excited and that kind of thing, but more specifically give some tools, some techniques, and some processes that you can use to create real, tangible, lasting change, because that's what we all want. It's not that you should be satisfied with who you are and say, that's where I'm stopping. You should love who you are, where you are, but it's human nature to grow and learn. It's part of our instinct. And so I want to share I'll kind of circumlocute, if you will, sort of what I talked about at the camp, but I'll give something now, and then I will give you to go get something, a gift from me, no strings attached, that you can go get and do a process that'll help you go further, faster. And so if you're listening, get out a pen and paper. And anytime you hear me talk, get out a pen and paper you can write, because again, I want to give you something to do, because it's not what you know. We all know this. Knowledge is not power, and neither is action. It's what you do, which is called activity, what you consistently do. And so I'm going to talk to you about, and again, this is circling the things that I talked with Victor about at the camp, and that is to show us exactly how we function as human beings, and then how to use that information to get the very best out of ourselves. And it always goes like this: as I think, so I feel. And you want to write this down. As I think, so I feel. And as I feel, so I do. And as I do, so I have. And what that means is this piece of real estate between your ears is the most important piece of real estate that you own. And it is the command center for everything. But the sequence is whatever your thoughts are, and thoughts are just the words and pictures that we make in our minds. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. I'm like super simple. And those words and pictures cause a chemical storm to go on. It's either the grouping of endorphins, which are feel-good chemicals, or cortisol, which are the adrenalines and the fear chemicals. And so whatever that brain releases as a result of those thoughts will make you feel either good or bad. And so whatever you feel, good or bad in that moment, is what you will do. You will demonstrate, you will behave, and that will produce what you get. And so with that as a foundation, I want to share something with everybody that you can do right now to do what I say. And I didn't make this up. I actually, a good friend of mine, Jay Abraham, came up with this saying, the first part of it, and that is to ethically capitalize on this pause in our momentum. He said the ethically capitalize. I said the pause on part, because it is just a pause. We will continue on. We will live on. And so how we ethically capitalize on it is ethically capitalize on yourself first. It's physician, heal thyself first. Come home. Victor mentioned it at the very beginning of this, is get to know thyself, because as you do, you'll start to not just recognize who you are. Awareness is always the first step, but then you'll be able to take some steps. So here's the steps. I call them the 4 M's. M as in Michael. Okay. The first step is, this is what you can do, and I'll give you a pattern for it in a second. Meditate. Meditate is the number one thing. Take it, and I don't mean just like I said, crystals and unicorns and rainbows and things like that. I mean just shut the hell up. You can go down the road of full lotus and do all that stuff, and I encourage it. But when I say meditate, I mean just shut up for at least 10 minutes, because the brain does not stop talking. It never stops. And when you stop talking, and when you stop looking at your phone, and when you just be quiet for a moment, one very specific, powerful thing is going to happen to you. You're going to hear you talking to you, in whatever voice that is. Might be your mother's voice, your father's voice, or your voice. And whatever it is, and this is your opportunity to step in and do something about it. If that voice is not doing what I call love lifting consistently, which is empowering you, inspiring you, and telling you to feel good and releasing those dopamines, if it is not doing that, if it's doing anything else, which is denigrating you, criticizing you, which is judging you or other people or the world around you, anything like that, that is your opportunity to recognize that, wait a minute, this is my brain. This is the underpinnings. This is the operating system that is going through my body and making me release either dopamines or cortisol. And we want dopamines. So let me change it. And now's your opportunity to change it. And everybody can change it in an instant. Our brain and our body cannot resist repetition. That's how we learn. From a simplest, everything that you know and you do well is because you've repeated it. And so the same with your thought. And so you can change it, and you can do something and we've heard this as affirmations or whatever. But when you get excited about whatever you say, it penetrates your unconscious mind and goes deep into your soul. And if you literally just say over and over again something like, every day in every way my life is getting better, every day in every way I'm getting happier, every day and I'm getting healthier, those words, especially done with joy, will go into you, and that'll become who you are. I have a saying that I've been saying forever. I say to myself, and it's just my operating system. At last, the past is past. I've broken free and won. And now it's time to love myself and really have some fun. A bold new world is on the rise for all of us to have. And I'm the one. Yes, I'm the one, a beacon that lights the path. And when I say that to myself over and over again, and guess who believes that stuff? Me. And what it does is, and you can make up your own poems, you can make up your own stuff, you can go get quotes, and you can give quotes. I leave a quote. Matter of fact, Darren, I ethically stole from you just a second ago while we were talking. We'll put up on Instagram, if you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go, go far, go with others. I put that up there. So those things that we say, that will take the place of any of the other stuff, and that will become your mindset. The second M is mitigate. Mitigate means to make less. And mitigate the fear. And what that means is it's all around us. It really is. You turn on the television, it's just designed. Don't get me started on this one, okay? It is designed, and it is something I'm going to talk about at the camps, and you're going to get it, that, wait a minute, these people are utilized. They're using me. They're manipulating me. They're pinning me to this unfortunate part of life instead of freeing me. And it's done specifically, it's done mechanically, it is done deliberately to keep you sitting there watching television. I told you, don't get me started on this, okay? And so mitigate the fear. Shut that television off. I'm not saying don't be informed, but you can get everything you need in terms of information in 10 minutes of watching any television or any news, because they're going to repeat it in the news cycle. You don't need to keep that stuff coming in. Mitigate the fear. If you're in a household, because people are saying, well, listen, I got negative people around me. My family is negative and everything. Well, go in another room, quit listening, do things like get on Darren's show or get on Tony's show or go to a camp, do something where you're feeding the joy into your life. And mitigate it, put it away. Allow yourself, instead of doing social distancing, do fear distancing. If somebody's in your life and they're going, you know what, you're this and you're that and this, all that and all, then go, listen, I love you and I'm going to be over here. If you want to, talk to you about something positive, come over here. Otherwise, I'll be in the other room. And distance yourself from that kind of crap. The third M is move your body, or if you know me, move that ass.
Attitude.
Shake that ass. Yeah, I call it askitude. And move your body. And it's not just so you get some exercise. Your muscles are what's called piezoelectric cells. They generate and store electricity. And if they don't move, it's not releasing that electricity, that energy inside of you. So many people are tired and lazy right now. It's because they're not moving their body. You know, in my house, I have a little trampoline in 5 of the rooms in my house. I'll just say that. And so any minute, there's one sitting right here. I'll get up and I'll jump up and down on that, or go jump up and down on your bed, go for a walk. Every hour for at least 5 or 10 minutes, you'll be releasing that energy. The 4th thing is to mentor, and that's external and internal. And what that means is do what we're doing right now. Tony, I don't know a lot about you. I only know what Darren has shared with me and the research that I did before I came on the show. And you're an amazing man in what you're doing. And by the way, I wanted to tell you, when I grow up, I want to have a voice like yours. I love your voice.
Thank you.
You know, and you're an unbelievable mentor to people, and you have been for years. You know, you shared me with your story and those things. And so listen to people like Tony, listen to people like Victor, and listen to people like Darren and any and everybody else. Get your mentoring. Mentors are valuable right now. That's how you capitalize right now. Instead of spending your time, you know, most everybody has probably run and gotten all the way to the end of YouTube. I mean, of Netflix by now. Most of us have probably seen all the movies that we need to see. So, all right, here we are. Go get a mentor. Turn on these things all the time. And then the second piece of that is you be a mentor. There's somebody out there that needs what you have to say. It'll change their lives. You know, my life was changed, like you were saying, Darren. Somebody came along at your lowest point, and that person, I'm sorry, Tony, came along at your lowest point, and that person changed your life with his words. And your words to somebody could be the right thing at the right time. And you don't have to be brilliant. Matter of fact, blame it on Victor or Darren or Tony or me. Go, look, here's what I heard from this. And you be the teacher. And you get out there. And what'll happen is this whole thing, when we talked at the top of this, Tony, you talked about connection, connects people. And so all of those things, they build. So that's what you can do right now. And all of those things build what I call self-certainty. And that is your own certainty in yourself that you can, could, should, would, and will go further faster. And so with your permission, I'd like to give everybody something free of charge. No, it's not a free trial. It's no credit card, nothing like that. It's my gift to you. And I'm going to tell you why I'm doing it here in a second. And it's a course that I made a long time ago. And I literally used to sell this thing for, I think it was like $500. And it's an audio with a workbook. And it's called the Self-Certainty Masterclass. Free of charge, it's yours. And it's not just me yakking. I'm going to have you do things because it's what you do. It's the wax on, wax off that'll change your brain. And remember, we said it's top down. Think, feel, do. And some exercises that are going to help you right now find you, align with you, and get more certainty. And so if you go to where it's sitting right now, if you go to my Instagram, it's I am Joseph McClendon. I'll spell it for you. I am JOSEPH MCCLENDON. JOSEPH MCCLENDON. Oh, DON. I am Joseph McClendon. And you go there and you click on the link below my profile. It'll take you to a page. There's a few things on there, but just click on Self-Certainty Masterclass. And you'll download it, you'll have it. And the only thing I ask is this, 2 things. Share your wisdom, share your results to other people. You don't have to share it to me. I'm not looking for the accolades. Do it, and it'll take you a minute to do it. You know, some of those exercises you're going to go deep in. And you click on it, and it's yours. And the other thing that I ask you to do is share. Like I said, share your results, but then also share your kindness with other people, because this is the time right now. This is when humanity comes together. And so when you have more certainty about yourself, you will generate that to other people, and it can be as simple as a smile. You'll cause yourself to release endorphins. You'll cause yourself to release, and you'll cause other people to do so as well. Where's my microphone so I can drop that bad boy?
Wow. All right. Let me get this scrolling across the screen. So if you want to get access to that information, you can go to this, and what Joseph just shared is available. And when you pull it up, you're going to pull up a lot of information about Joseph, but the second link down is free self-certainty masterclass. So go check it out. I'm just honored. One of the things that keeps popping up for me today, when you're all sharing, I have a little quote that goes, you can choose in this very moment to live in your gratitudes or your shititudes, but it is your choice.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And you get to do that every single day when you wake up in your eyes. I never got a chance to meet Wayne Dyer, but when I wake up in the morning, I do something so simple as just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Stretch my arms, put my feet down, and realize I'm alive. I have a heartbeat. I can check my pulse. I'm like, wow, so does everybody listening right now. And you should be so blessed and thankful in this very moment that you do, because then you know it's not too late. Now you have an opportunity to do something with your life and yourself. And I love the fact that you guys all talked about serving. That I got out of bed with an idea today of contribution and connection. That's why I'm here. God gave me a beautiful gift. He gave me a day none of us have seen before, but we all are experiencing this day together. So that's the blessing right now. But it's also a curse for a lot of people, because a lot of people are locked up here because they can't unlock their mind because they're so closed-minded. So just go check out the masterclass. It's a free, just a noble, honorable gift. I want to say thanks. And what we do in the last 10 minutes is each give you 3 minutes to close up, kind of like it's your keynote to end your event. So you give, I'm going to make Joseph go last because he just finished an amazing masterclass. He just taught the 4 M's. And I think it's so powerful in so many ways, but Darren knows how to do this. I've written down some words that have come up multiple times today. And you can pick those words, 3 of them yourself, or you could add 3, but just kind of share a little bit. And then Victor, make sure you talk about your camp one more time. Joseph, make sure you talk about the masterclass, whatever else. Darren's got 34 strong. I mean, the gift for me was waking up today and knowing that I was walking into this, right? Because when I got up this morning, I didn't know what God had in store. Mm-hmm. I just knew God had something amazing in store, and I got a chance to walk with God this morning. So that for me is the gift. And then you are the blessings that I get to reap by participating. Right. So I just want to say thanks. I'm certainly honored. And so the words that came up for me today was turn it off. Right. So turn off the damn news. Like if you need it, you got 10 minutes, you could watch it, but just turn the stupid thing off. Find something else to fill your mind with. I have to say snakes came up multiple times. So we're going to throw snakes into it. Be careful of the snakes. And that's the one thing, Joseph, when you were talking about getting quiet for like 10 minutes and not letting the brain, I was like, is a snake going to bite me? I was just kept thinking to myself, is a snake going to bite me if I get so still? Investigate. I thought investigate was a really big, powerful term, like go inward and really sit still. Meditation, obviously. Your camp, Victor, I got to talk about the camp. I thought that was just a beautiful thing. That's what kind of brought this whole conversation together. But I'm also going to throw 34 Strong in the mix. 34 Strong kept coming up for me because I wouldn't be where I'm at today without a Darren in my life. Darren has always gone out of the way. And what does that really mean? Victor, you talked about it. If he's crazy enough to jump on a plane and go visit you, that is the human connection that we all are craving right now. We deep down inside of us is this need. Like, I just want to give somebody a damn hug. You just want to love on somebody. So Darren has showed me that multiple times, that connection is the deep thing in all of us that we thrive and we really, really need more of. So Darren, I just want to say thank you for bringing these collective giants together today and allowing some time just to learn. And I love what Victor said. If you want to hear him play music, YouTube it, or go listen to it on Spotify, or, hey, you know what? There's tons of ways of listening to his music. And I got to tell you, Victor, my warehouse manager, Chris, he's been with me for over 18 years. Wow. And, I said, hey, I called him into my office yesterday. I said, hey, I'm getting a chance tomorrow to talk to Victor and Joseph and Darren. And he goes, Victor Wooten? I said, yep. He goes, man, I went and learned from that man. So that is somebody who's sitting very close to my heart, who has studied and followed. And so I thought that was really, really, really cool.
Very cool.
Because the piece that's so interesting for all of us is our heartbeat. And we are all connected by that this morning. And our heart is beating very, very strong. So, and the last one that I would love to talk about you talked about it is mitigate. I thought mitigate is something that we need to talk more about. So you guys get a close. You can wrap it up. 3 minutes. There's an imaginary timer running. So you set, Darren's going to go. He's going to kick it off. He's going to find 3 out of those 6 kind of terms to use. Find something on your heart that you want to share, close it, and then we'll pass it to Victor, and then we'll go back to Joseph, and we'll wrap up today's show. So you are on the clock, Darren.
So in January, Victor and I just had over the course of a 2-week period, just a series of chance encounters where we were going to be in the same cities, all over the place, Vic, where we were going to be together, and had chances to just see each other, around each other by a couple of hours. One morning in San Diego, we were having breakfast, and one of the closing things that we discussed were 3 statements that I think are incredibly telling and incredibly important for us to say right now to each other. And they're simply this: I love you, thank you, and I'm sorry. If there's ever a time to really use those words and connect with each other, it's now. It's a great opportunity to use those times. Just riffing a little bit on what Joseph said earlier with how our thoughts guide us to where we are. Nothing on this planet that we have the opportunity to be on shows like this. Airplanes flying in the sky, right? Bridges built across waterways, you name it. Every single thing started as a thought. And you might not believe fully in that person that you seek to become. You might not believe that today. But if you keep that process going of what Joseph mentioned to you of those 4 M's, and then starting that, you're going to start to believe just a little more each day. It's kind of like going to the gym for the first day and like doing bicep curls or something, right? The next couple of days, it hurts like crazy. It's not going to feel good. And that's just how it's going to be. But we build upon that over time. And all you got to do is believe just a little bit more than you don't believe. And that's okay. That's enough to get started with. And that's a beautiful place to go. So that's one of the pieces that we have. A quote that I've come up with that I think is really telling for us right now as we go through the ups and downs and the uncertainty. Every day we do have that choice. We can choose to either live a little more each day or die a little more each day. And we're correct either way, but that's a choice you get to make every single day when you put your feet on the ground. So be sure to ask, how am I living today? Because that's going to focus your thoughts and prime you. And the final thing I'll say is each of us has our own unique genius. There's only one version of you that's ever been created. There's only one brain that you have, and it's completely unique from everybody else's. You have something of genius to offer this world, and the world is starving for it. So be sure to unlock that. Free gift to you, 34strong.com. We have a great exercise called Grind Greatness Genius. It's a download right on our homepage. I encourage you to go there. It'll help you to really take the deep dive and go through the worksheets on finding your genius and your grinds so you can eliminate those areas that you just don't love to do. So thank you for having us here, Tony, and just always spending time with Joseph, Victor, and you, Tony, is never bad time spent.
Do you know who this person is?
That's my beautiful wife and my beautiful kiddos, Kira and Preston. They're tuned in downstairs. So Victor's had some time to hang out with the crazies of Preston and Kira and Lisa. She's not quite as crazy as the 2 littles.
So the last time on your show, you had told me that there was a note outside your door that you couldn't come in. Did your kids help you set up your lighting today and get it all set up in the studio?
You know, they went to bed so darn late last night. They were just waking up when I was setting up today, so they didn't get a chance to. But I think they're tuning in downstairs. They were all excited last night. That's why I was trying to tell them, go to bed early so you can actually help Dad. But
I love it. Hey, Darren, thank you as always. It's like I said earlier, my life is better because of you. You coming into my life, giving me a lot of opportunity today to use my thinker. So I appreciate that. Victor, we're going to pass it over to you. Give me 3 minutes and.
All right. Hey,
your words.
Tony, quick question. What was your first word? I missed that one.
I don't remember.
Okay. All right.
I just took so many notes.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Oh, then I must have missed the second one. I got that one.
Snake.
Well,
Snake.
Okay. I only wrote 5 of the words, so I missed one of them.
I probably only gave 5, knowing me. I probably left you short. I'm not like Joseph. I didn't give you the whole loop. I stopped the loop to make you think.
Anyway, to start where Darren mentioned is that you are an individual, right? Life has already given you your own, like what the grocery store would call a barcode. You put in that barcode, you know exactly what item they're talking about. You got one. Everybody's got a fingerprint, and it's the only one in the history or the future of humans, right? Past, present, future of humankind. There's only one of your fingerprints. So if you think about your fingerprint, let's say it was a diamond or a jewel, and imagine if you had the only diamond or the only jewel ever in the history of humankind. How powerful, how valuable would you treat it, right? Well, you know the answer. Well, you're born with it. You have it, right? There is nothing on the planet stronger than you. Not for you. You are the strongest thing in your planet. And here's your proof. You have something nobody has ever had or will ever have. But we also have choice, so we get to choose what to do with this. That's the cool thing about it. To me, that's what makes this even more special. And what this means, everybody in here knows what it takes to be born. Mommy, daddy come together. The Big Bang happens, explosion. There's a race. We won. Here's the proof that we've already won the biggest contest, the biggest lottery, the biggest game, whatever you want to call it, that we can ever enter. We've already won. And you've got proof, right? So what that means is, even if you do nothing but veg out on your couch for 100 years, no one can take your victory away, right? You've already won, so you're already special. You're already the champ. But now you have choice. We can do something with it, right? And you may have to investigate to find out what it is. You may need to find out what it is, to investigate what it is that I'm good at or that drives my heart. It doesn't take much. Just figure it out. And when you investigate, yes, you will find some snakes. You will definitely find some. Life isn't complete without them, right? Nobody talks about the time we rode through the desert and we had enough gas and the air conditioner worked and we got there on time and no flat tires. Nobody talks about that. We talk about when we find snakes and we live through it, right? Snakes open your eyes. It makes you have to keep your eyes open when you're walking through the woods. It keeps you aware, right? You can't turn your eyes or your brain off, right? You have to know when to turn off, when to turn on, right? And all these things that your brain is telling you negatively that Joseph talked about, yeah, man, turn that stuff off. But for me, when everybody's telling me to quiet my mind, what they're telling you is that they want you to quiet it because you don't like what your mind's telling you. But if you do like Joseph says and change your mind into your biggest cheerleader, the football team never tells the cheerleaders to be quiet, right? Because the cheerleaders are telling them everything they want to hear. So you want to retrain what your brain is telling you. And then you will want to always turn it on, right? So that comes through meditation, right? As Joseph talked about, right? You want to, and again, like Joseph, I love when Joseph says that meditation doesn't have to mean sitting in lotus, right? For me, one of the most meditative things is playing my bass or driving a long distance. But you just want to learn to listen to what your voice is saying. Because as Joseph and Darren point out, what your voice is telling you is what you will end up doing. Leave you with a couple of quotes from my mom. My mom says, treat life right and life will treat you right. And it really is as simple or as difficult as that. You treat life right, life will treat you right. So you want to do what you can do in your life every day as best as possible. So I might wake up in the morning and think everything. Right. I thank my bass even, but I also make my bed. That way I start every day with a success. Success becomes my habit because success is not something that's coming in the future. Success is where I stand right now. If there's garbage on the floor, I pick it up. I'm a success. right? Treat life right, and life will recognize your efforts. Life will say, this guy's trying to do something. Let me help him out. So you treat life right, life will treat you right, right? And the last thing I'll leave you with that my mom says is, what does the world need with just another good musician? She said, what the world needs are good people, right? And there's a good people inside of everybody. Inside of everybody, not some of you, everybody. You wouldn't be born without that goodness in you. What are you going to do with it? It's up to you. But I urge you, this is my little sales pitch. I'm urging you June 5 through 7 to let us help you. Go to VixCamps, VIXCAMPS.com. Let Joseph and Darren and me and maybe a couple other friends of ours, let us help you. Right? Again, we're offering this at a fraction of a cost because we know that if you have to do something and pay something, it'll mean more to you. I know I'm probably running over. I got a message from a guy from Australia. I shouldn't say where, from a far away place today. Say, I don't want to get up at that time of night. Are you going to offer the videos of the camp for free? And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, you don't even want to wake up for this, And so I typed my answer, but I had to show it to my wife first. Say, is this too mean? Right. But anyway, come see us June 5, 6 through 7. You got two amazing friends of mine right here, and I'm ready to get my mind blown by them just like you are. But we're going to have a good time. We hope to see you there.
Thank you very, very much today for your kind words. And I love quotes from your mom. I grew up thinking my dad was my mentor and my coach. And it wasn't until reflection that I realized that he did the best he could. But my mom, who worked 3 jobs, put food on the table for my sister and myself. My mom's still here today. I got a chance to talk to her mother.
Yeah. We think we having it hard sitting in our house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. My grandparents is somewhere, wherever they are, they laughing. Like, watch Netflix.
No, I appreciate you. Your words were you're timely, and I think the wisdom, is what we all can use more of. And to the person who wrote you that message, if it's important, you'll find a way. Otherwise, you'll find an excuse. And that's all it is. Time is nothing more than something that you watch on a clock. My mom had a statement above her. She was a school teacher, taught special ed, and it was a sign right above the clock. It says, "Time will pass. Will you?" And so that was like, if you're a student, you're looking, what time is it? Because I need to get out of here. I need to go somewhere. But my mom had this sign that was from her high school teacher that says, "Time will pass. Will you?" All right, Joseph, we'll pass it over to you, and then we'll wrap up today's show.
First thing I have to say is, damn, Vic. And by the way, this is why you got to go to the camp, because what he just did right there and what he just said right there, that's just a fraction of it. That's just a piece of it. And it is literally life-changing. And I'm saying from experience, and again, I'm in the industry. So Tony, first off, thank you for having me, and again, or having us, and thank you for your trust with everybody. And so the words that I chose were turn it off, nature, and mentor. First off, the first I'm going to be real short on, and that is this. With regard to the snakes and the self-talk and all of that stuff that hinders us, that is the thing that denigrates our life more than anything. And yes, and when I get to talk to you at the camp, I'm going to go into detail about that thing that I asked you not to get me started on, how the outside world is conditioning you to keep you, and it's not conspiracy. I'm going to show you beyond a shadow of a doubt, and you're going to go, holy crap, I didn't even realize this is going to happen, because I'm about science. I didn't say this from the very beginning. I'm a neuropsychologist. That's where I have a doctorate in neuropsychology. And so I'm a scientist. And so anything that I talk about or anything I do is all about facts and all about how the function and the mechanics of how things work. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to mitigate those fears. It's not just tell you that it is, but I'm going to give you specific exercises and we're going to do it right there. And I tell you right now, bring me your worst nightmare. And what I mean by that is worst memory, your worst inhibitions, anything that goes on inside your mind. And I'm going to show you something that at the end of this process, you're not going to be able to feel it. You're not going to be able to think it. You're not going to be able to feel it. It's not going to be something that I do to you. It's going to be something that I show you. You do it, and you get the result. So that's number one. Is the turn it off and the how. The second thing is nature. You know, one of the most valuable things that Victor taught me in going to the nature camp, because to be honest with you, I went to the nature camp. I went to the bass camp first because I'm a bassist, and I thought I was going to learn how to play bass, but I learned how to be a human and play bass. And my musicianship went through the roof with the simplicity of which this man teaches, but I took away much, much more. And I right then and there said, I need more of this. And I went to nature camp, not knowing what I was going to get. But what Victor said is true. Nature is the nature around us. It's the nature of us. So our nature that causes us to do what we do needs to be investigated, needs to be explored. Last thing is mentor. And like I said, be a mentor and seek mentors as well. I didn't share this earlier. Everybody knows Les Brown, yes? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dear friend for many, many years. And we've always talked about doing something together, but we're busy and we haven't done anything. And Les called me right as we went into quarantine. And Les said, Joseph, I need you to do something. And I said, what is it? Anything, Les? And he said, I need you to write another book. And I said, okay, Les, I need you to go pound clay in your ass because I ain't doing it. I didn't say it like that, no. But I balked against it because I don't want, I'm in my library. Look at this. And then there's another wall behind that. And yes, I've read about 85% of these books. I love to read. I don't like to write. I've written 6 books, and every book takes me anywhere from 9 months to 2 years to write. It's an investment, and so I didn't want to write another book. And my mentor, Les Brown, I get a little emotional about this, said to me, this is something that you need to do right now. And he gave me the reasons why, and my reasons why I'll tell you a little bit another time. And make a long story short, my mentor mentored me to write another book. And I'm proud to say the book is finished. He wrote the forward for it. He just sent it to me the other day. It brought tears to my eyes. And he guided me through a process to help me do that. And I say that because mentors are so valuable. They will help you do things that you would not want to do. They will help you do things that you would not think to do. They will help you do things that will not only enhance your life, but enhance the lives of people around us. And so in closing, I will say these 2 things. 3 things. Number 1, please join us at Vic's camp. Even if you just go take a look, I'm sure you'll see that this is something, especially in these times right now, to grow you as a person. Second thing is take myself and Darren's gift to you. Come visit me on Instagram. I am Joseph McClendon. I am Joseph McClendon on Instagram, and click on Self-Certainty Masterclass, and also visit Darren and get his. These are things that you can do free of charge. Oh, by the way, I didn't say this. This is the reason why we're doing this. Those of us that dare to dream while the rest of the world is having a nightmare, we're not only going to inherit and create the things that we want, the abundance that we want in our lives, but the greatest part about it is that we're going to be the beacons of hope and possibility for the rest of the world, and the rest of the world needs it. The rest of the world is having a nightmare. And so my dad used to always say, the best thing you can do for poor people is don't be one of them. And poor is not just financially. Poor is emotionally, physically, and all those things. And lastly, I'll say this, that life is exactly what you dare to make it. And fortune favors the bold. This is your opportunity right now to boldly step up and dare to make your life magnificent. Ethically capitalize on this moment in time so that in the future, we all look back and we go, I'm so glad I was on Tony's show. I'm so glad that I invested in myself. And by the way, lastly, I'll say this. If you don't pay, you won't pay attention. That's the way that it is. What we're charging for this call right now that we're on is that you step up and you do something. We offered you something, and it's your opportunity to step up and do something. We offered you things for free. You've had this whole thing for free. Now it's your turn to pay it forward. Pay it forward. You'll pay attention as you pay it forward. So again, Tony, Victor, Darren, thank you so much. I love you all. You guys are my heroes, and I look forward to serving you more in the future.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Joseph, I wanted to talk a past guest on my show who was on with Perry Marshall and Ezra Firestone just a couple episodes back, Ed O'Keefe. He says, I love Joseph. He was one of my first mentors when I was 23, 24.
Oh, wow.
What's really, really cool about everybody here today is it's all energy. It's all connection. And everything brought us together to go serve. And I love people don't pay attention unless they pay for it, right? Because if it's just given to them, they'll just take it and put it in and put it out. But if you have to pay for it, you'll know where it's going. And I love that. That's such a powerful lesson for all of us. But I got to wrap the show. I want to let each and every one of you know it's been just an absolute honor and a privilege to have you here today. Like I said, I'm better for getting up today and coming in and doing what I love, which is connecting with people. And I think it's just the start of a beautiful friendship and relationships. And I'm looking forward to participating, Victor, in your camps and learning how we can help support that moving forward. Joseph, thank you. Darren, thank you for always how you show up and love and give back. It's been an amazing episode. What I'd like to do is tell people, if you're interested in following along with what we're doing, you can check out networkingremote.com. This will turn into a podcast. This turns into a stream on YouTube. This is just the beginning of where information travels. So follow along, and thank you for participating today. And no matter what you do, no matter where you go, choose to make today the absolute best day of your life.
Thanks for listening to the Networking Remote. Remember, you are not alone. Stay connected.